Hello students, welcome to Geography class. Today we shall learn chapter 4 Climate. In this chapter we will learn about the climate of India and Brazil. So let's begin the session with the climate of India. Before studying the climate, let us first understand what does the term climate mean. The sum total of weather conditions and variation over a large area for a long period of time is called climate. In simple terms, we can say the usual condition of the temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind, rainfall, etc. in an area for a long period of time, that is for about 30 years. So, in this chapter, we will briefly talk about the two elements of climate, that is temperature and rainfall. Understand the variations in temperature. Let us study about the temperature zones on the earth. Our earth is spherical in shape, as we all know, and due to the curvature of the earth, all places on the earth do not receive the same amount of heat from the sun. The equator and the regions near it. The equator and the regions near it receive direct sunlight. The sun rays become slanting and more slanting as we move away from the equator towards the poles. So, the earth can be divided into three different zones on the basis of amount of heat received from the sun. The three different zones are the torrid zone or the tropical zone, the temperate zone and the frigid zone. The torrid zone lies between the equator and the tropics. Can you see here at 0 degree we have equator, and this equator divides the earth into northern and the southern hemisphere. So the torrid zone or the tropical zone lies between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer in the north and the Tropic of Capricorn in the south. This red area is known as torrid zone or tropical zones. The temperature in this region is quite high as these regions receive direct sunlight throughout the year. As we go further away, we have temperate zones. These zones receive slanting sun rays. Therefore, these zones are neither very hot or nor very cold. The North Temperate Zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle. The South Temperate Zone lies between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle. This yellow part is known as which zone? Temperate zones. The climate in this zone is moderate and pleasant. That's why most of the tourist destination in the world is located in this region. As we go even further away, we have frigid zone. These zones are intensely cold zones on the earth, as these zones get very little sunlight and the warmth of the sun. It's time to rewind our knowledge and look at what we have done till now. As we have seen in the flashback, and we have also learned in the second chapter, that the Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of the country. That is from Rann of Kutch in the west to Mizoram in the east. Almost half of the country lies to the south of Tropic of Cancer, belongs to the tropical zone or torrid zone. The temperature in this region is quite high. and it is high because this region receives comparatively perpendicular sun rays. Whereas the remaining area, which is in the north, lies in the subtropical region or temperate region. This green region is subtropical region or temperate region. The temperature in this region is low, and it is low because this region receives less perpendicular sun rays. Thus, we can say that the temperature of India increases towards the south, that the region or states in the south experience high temperature and the regions in the northern area experience low temperature. India is covered by different landforms like mountains, plateaus, coastal regions, etc. We have learned about all this in chapter 3. All these landforms results in difference in the temperature of India. In winters, the temperatures drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius in Jammu and Kashmir and parts of mountainous regions of Himalaya. In fact, in the hilly regions, the summers are mild and the winters are cold. This is because the more we go above the ground to higher altitude, the temperature decreases. We can see here at 1000 meters, the temperature is 23.5 degrees Celsius. At 2000 meters, it is 17 degrees Celsius. At 3000 meters, it is only 10.5 degrees Celsius. Thus, we can say higher the area, lower the temperature. And this is because at higher altitude, the concentration of air molecules decreases. It means the atmosphere becomes less dense. Hence, the temperature decreases. And the hills are cooler in summers. If we talk about Himalayas, Himalayas protect northern India from severe cold in winters. They obstruct the passage of chilling cold Arctic winds from the north entering into India and protect our country from extreme cold conditions. Thus, the diversity in the climatic conditions of India are due to the latitudinal locations and the altitude of the place. India has monsoon type of climate. That means it is influenced by the seasonal monsoon winds. These monsoon winds give rainfall from June to September, and these winds also bring rainfall in some part of India as retreating monsoon. Therefore, the seasons in India are summer season from March to May, monsoon or rainy season from June to September, retreating monsoon from October to November, and last one is the winter season from December to February. Indian climate is a monsoon type of climate as it is greatly affected by the seasonal monsoon winds. The term monsoon is derived from an Arabic word mausam, and it refers to the winds that change their direction. Thus, we can say monsoon is a periodic seasonal wind. It blows from sea to land in a particular season and completely reverses back with the change in the atmospheric conditions in the next season. In India, these winds blow from southwest to northeast and from northeast to southwest. These monsoon winds brings rain in the month of June to September and also bring rains in the winter to some parts of India as retreating monsoon. Let us now discuss the causes of these seasonal reversal of winds from sea to land and land to sea. The main cause is the difference in the heating and the cooling of land and its surrounding water bodies, that is, the oceans and the seas. During summer, the land is hotter and thus low pressure areas develop in Punjab plains and the Thar desert of Rajasthan. This attracts winds from the high pressure region in the Indian Ocean in the southeasterly direction, crossing the equator and turns right towards the low pressure area that is the mainland of India. These winds are known as southwest monsoon winds. These moisture-laden winds bring rainfall in India. The Indian Peninsula divides the monsoon into two branches. They are the Arabian Sea branch, that is the southwest monsoon winds, and the Bay of Bengal branch, that is the northeast monsoon winds. Here on this map, we can see the dark blue areas and the light blue areas, indicating high and low rainfall in the different parts of India. Arabian Sea branch gives more rainfall in the western coast of India, and the Bay of Bengal branch gives high rainfall in the northeast part of India. Winds blow from the Bay of Bengal towards Meghalaya Plateau. Cherrapunji and Mawsynram are located to the windward side of the Meghalaya Plateau. As its effect, these places receive maximum rainfall. Mawsynram and Cherrapunji are the wettest places in the world. In the previous slide, we have seen that the southwest monsoon winds are obstructed by the Western Ghats. As a result, the windward side of the Western Ghat receives abundant rainfall. The rain shadow regions are found in the leeward side of the mountains, that is in the central part of the peninsular India. Mountain ranges and hills are common relief features on the land, and when the rainfall occurs due to the obstruction of the mountain, it is called as orographic rainfall. Orographic rainfall is prominent in India. Now, let us understand the average rainfall pattern in India. Because of the obstruction caused by the eastern and the western Ghat, it rains more in the coastal areas. This we have discussed earlier also. Similarly, we have dark blue areas in Meghalaya, which is the result of Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon. But along the northwestern part of India, that is in Rajasthan and Gujarat, along the Pakistan border, the color is whitest. There is scanty or very little rainfall. This is because the southwest monsoon winds, when pass over the Rajasthan, there is no obstacle, but these winds blow parallel to the Aravallis. As a result, rainfall is low in the parts of Gujarat and Rajasthan. Later, these southwest monsoon winds move towards the Himalayas. When they reach Himalayas, they encounter an obstacle. Due to the obstruction, these winds change their direction and start flowing from the northeast to the Indian Ocean. The return journey of these winds bring the retreating monsoon in the peninsular region in the month of October and November. During the retreating monsoon season in India, the southeast coast receives more rainfall. Tropical cyclones also occur during this time. To understand this in a better way, let's have a look at the given graphs. These graphs are bar and line graphs representing the average annual distribution of rainfall and temperatures in four different cities of India, that is Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai and Chennai. These cities are the metropolitan cities and located in the four different directions of India. Delhi is located in the northern part of India. Kolkata is located in the northeastern part of India. Then we have Mumbai, which lies on the western coast of India. And Chennai is located on the southeastern coast of India. These red and blue lines shows maximum and the minimum temperature. In Delhi, the temperature lines show greater ups and downs, whereas the lines are less vary in case of Mumbai and Kolkata, because Delhi is inland and far away from the sea. So, the seasons are more severe in Delhi. Summer is very hot and winter is very cold. Chennai is very different from all, as Chennai receives more rainfall if we compare the bar graph of Chennai with Kolkata, Delhi and Mumbai. We will find that Chennai receives more rainfall in November, December and January. This is because this region receives rainfall from returning monsoon, that is northeast monsoon winds, whereas the rest of India receives rainfall from southwest monsoon winds. Thus, we can say that the Indian Ocean and the Himalayan ranges exert a great influence on the climate of India and the origin of monsoons. The monsoon winds are the main factor that determine the climate of India. India has a tropical monsoon climate. The climate of India has been influenced by its latitudinal location, size, and the physiographic divisions. With this, I completed my topic. I hope you all must have understood everything. Thank you.